Yo, what's up, everybody? Kind of in keeping with the theme of my last video where I did a review of the TBS Source One. This is another one of the wave of the, I don't know if there's a term for this, clone combatants or whatever you want to call it. Basically, frame manufacturers making very affordable frames. So recently you've had the TBS Source One, the Rotorite CL1, and the SabotageRC line of frames come out, and they're extremely affordable, which is cool because now instead of, if you want to spend $30, around $30 on a frame, you don't have to buy a clone. You can buy something like a Source One, or this is a SabotageRC Bangarang XL5. Now, the cool thing about SabotageRC is it's Armattan. So the frames are built by Armattan, from my understanding. They're branded SabotageRC. They don't have the lifetime warranty, but they're in like the $30 to $40 price range. So very affordable frames. Now, the cool thing about these, and I own a Rooster and a Chameleon as well, if you compare the carbon on this frame to an Armattan frame, it looks to be the same carbon material, and it seems to be cut, basically the same way with the same quality cut, the same quality material. Difference is you're not paying for a lifetime warranty, and you're getting a design that's, I don't know, I like this frame. So obviously this is a 5-inch Stretch X. It's kind of like a racing style frame. It's got 4mm arms. The arms are replaceable. They're cheap. They're like $2 or $3 each. Again, unfortunately, there's not a lot of motor protection here, just like kind of on the Source One. This is a 2206 size stator, and you can see there's nothing extra there. But you know what? That's okay, I guess. I mean, better to have something. But inside, you've got the stack height here. Let me zoom in a little bit. The amount of space you have on the inside is almost like exactly what you need. So there's not a ton of room in here to work with, but enough height for I've got a 4-in-1 ESC, flight controller, and then a little plate on top with my Unify Race. So just enough room to get kind of 3 boards in there with a little bit of overhead. You could mount the battery on top. It does come with a foam pad for the top, although I don't know. This to me feels like I prefer to bottom mount on this, and then I can strap a GoPro to the top if I want. But if you wanted to top mount, you could. It is set up for that. It does come with a lipo pad for both the top and the bottom. The bottom one I just took off and put some grip because it works better. The top one I left on to help kind of cushion the little GoPro holder I have strapped to the top. So yeah, I kind of built this with stuff that I had around. And I do that, number one, because it's cheaper. Number two, because, if you're looking at a frame like this, maybe you're not springing for, the highest end components. So I do have older motors on here. These are the DYS Fire 2206 2600 kV. And, they're not the highest performance motors out there. They've been around for a while, but they're pretty smooth and they're pretty efficient. So, to have fun, you don't have to use $27 motors. You can if you want to. You'll get better performance, but if you're trying to do a quadcopter on a budget, you can do this with a $30 frame and, older motors, and, put a little Foxeer micro cam is $20 in the front. So this frame is designed to only take micro cams. One of the kind of distinguishing features or unique things is you get these aluminum standoffs that have the mounting holes for the micro cam built in. It's kind of a neat solution. They started doing this on the Mongoose frame that had come out first, and these are great. These are really, really good. The only thing that's a little bit weird is, as you kind of tighten your bolt in, the bottom or the top, you want to hold on to the standoff to make sure it doesn't get tweaked, because it does need to kind of sit straight. Unlike TPU, which will kind of give and you can roll it around. But this is really, really neat. You can see you have just enough room behind the camera for your camera tilt. On some frames, the camera is a little bit too close to the stack and you can't quite tilt it. Got to be a little bit careful, but the plug just does clear the flight controller. I can adjust it up and down to pretty much whatever angle I want. The TPU antenna mount's not included. That came off of Thingiverse, so that's not part of the frame, but I thought this one was pretty neat. It's just got a little SMA hole in it and holders for your RX antenna. And I just have a Axii Stubby on here, which is going to stay out of the way. And I like using these in this style because it's not really there's no way to really hit it or scrape it. It's gonna be really, it's not gonna get broken there. So I have flown this already. It's a lot of fun to fly, and like I said, I mean, you can you can buy high-end components and put the best performing stuff in there and get a nice frame, and the quad will fly great. But if you don't have the money to do that, you can still get a quad that flies good and a frame that makes sense. There's really nothing ultra fancy about this frame other than maybe the front standoffs. Like I said, the arms are 4mm thick. The bottom plate is pretty beefy. The top plate is okay, and then you've just got 2 standoffs in the back. It's pretty stiff. You know, the arms move a hair, not as much as my rooster, but that's okay. And yeah, there's really like nothing wrong with this design. And I guess that's the point. You have just the right amount of room. The camera's not too close. A little bit of room in the back to put like a capacitor and a buzzer, whatever you want. It's kind of standard. It flies nice, and so far it's been durable. I crashed it a bunch, and so far so good. It's like all my builds. None of my builds come out to be like super duper light. This isn't a heavy frame. When I build a 5-inch frame like this, I usually come out to be somewhere like around 300 grams. I guess I could try to build lighter somehow. I don't know. It's just how my builds come out. So this one, and we do have the TPU GoPro mount on top, so it's going to add a few extra grams. And we're at 324, so not the lightest thing in the world. I think if you take the GoPro mount off, you get a little bit closer to 300. But hey, like that's not like a porker either. So I just bash around in this, and like I said, if it gets hurt, like whatever, there's nothing super expensive in here that's I'm going to cry about. And it's just fun to fly. So I have some flight video for you guys to check out. You can get this from SabotageRC.com. I think it goes for around $35, and you can add a couple spare arms for like $2 or $3 each, which is what I did, and be good to go. But again, really excited to see companies like Rotoride and TBS and Armattan as well making these affordable frames for people, because as much as I love my high-end frames, they're way overpriced. And you know, if you're trying to get into the hobby, you're typically buying a clone, which is okay, but I think these are much better options. You're going to get stuff that's quality and from a company that really cares about FPV. So yeah, check them out, SabotageRC.com. Enjoy the flight and have a good one.